Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Waking to the New Dawn Morning Chats. And today, Kristin and I are going to explore a couple interesting topics that you may look at separately, or you may start thinking about how they fit together. So, good morning, Kristin.
Good morning, Trudy. Here we are again amidst our waking process. I was reminded this morning of one of our first conversations that we had when we first started this format, like over 4 years ago, and bringing forth, the message that one of the dominant energies of the new earth is the now energy.
Present moment, yeah.
Present moment, being in the now. And I was reminded that because of some of my personal experiences the last, few weeks, and, just different messages and seeing different quotes and things, that were kind of passing my way. And I shared one the other day, and, wrote that, oh my gosh, like this is so much of what I have been experiencing. But this quote said, "When I surrender to the unforeseeable, it is because I do not discern or understand how it will be manifested. The unknown becomes inevitable. There is no clear path, but the one I accept." And I thought that the ending of that quote was so powerful, the one I accept.
Yes.
And that reminds me too of what you and I have been feeling and sharing and talking about, is that reminder that, the universe is within and we are the creator of our reality. And, the one I accept. But I've been feeling really so much of being in the now moment and what's next, or not even being able to see beyond that because it's so unknown.
Interesting you should say that, because often we find that in our intention setting, we get a little too specific because we have something that we really feel is something we would like to experience and accept. And the whole idea of what you just said in that quote was the expansiveness provides the path for us. So if we can stay general and trusting and set an intention from our inner truth that we know we will accept what arrives, it's a challenge, and it really does sometimes unsettle us. Maybe we feel a little unstabilized because we aren't in control then. We offer control, and we hear about this like letting go, surrendering.
Mm-hmm.
And the seeking of letting go or the seeking of surrendering, it will sometimes elude us. It's an act of undoing and allowing. And that quote is so powerful in so many different ways.
Yeah, surrender to the unforeseeable because I do not discern or understand how it will be manifested.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting place to be. And the unknown becomes inevitable and there's no clear path except the one I accept, so really being, I think, mindful of where you're placing your energy, where you're placing the action. I just recently listened to something that really resonated with me. And we've talked, and the spiritual community has talked for years about kind of holding the vision and holding the intention and how powerful that kind of inner focus is.
Yes.
But this person was saying, which I really appreciated, is yes, that is important, that is key. The universe does respond to that. But she was like, but the universe responds even more to action. And I feel like that's part of what our broader spiritual community is being pulled into now and kind of living now. Is I think for so long we've been, planting those inner seeds of intention and holding those visions for this new earth, and holding that space and intention for it. And now I feel like there's this push, and we can talk about the energies and how they're helping us do that, this push into the action of it. But staying in those now moments to really being discerning of no clear path, but the one I accept. Where is the action? Where am I going to put my next foot? Because I ultimately am the creator of my reality, and take kind of back that power of where I'm placing that action and that next foot.
Yes, and often we find that a couple things happen. If we're asking for a very narrow focus, often we get something different and we feel disappointed and unheard and unseen by the universe, and we don't accept. Having a broader view of, I will accept and just please provide guidance, then we receive, and we have the option, like you said, to accept it or not, to act on it or not. And as human beings, we love to be able to be in control of our own destiny. That's just something that comes with the package that we're in. And because of that, part of our lesson, I think, is to begin to understand how, yes, but, and, maybe, sometimes, all of those things factor into what happens when we are offered an opportunity or the opportunity presents itself. And often we reject something that may come around again in a different package or in a different form, until we finally realize that, let's try that. And then we act on it and we think to ourselves, oh, why didn't I do that years ago or days ago or whatever it was? And why didn't I see that before? And that, again, is part of it. So not seeing our path can be very disruptive to us as humans. We want to be able to see where we're going. We want to know what's going to happen. We want those results. We look for that endeavor that we are seeking. And we sometimes get offered something completely different.
Oh, I just realized when you were speaking the drastic polarity of this powerful truth that the universe is within us and we are the creator of our reality, versus being in control of our destiny. I mean, you would think because we are the creator, we are the universe within, we do create our own reality, but yet how there's so much that we're really not in control of.
Yes.
It's like, notice that polarity and that is really interesting. So how do we assume the power of being the creator and give up control?
A story comes to mind about the moon energies that are available to us today. and they've been building for the last couple of days. 2 days ago, we went through an energetic region of the sky with the moon where we were beginning to create commitments. And then yesterday, we were bringing those commitments up, like scooping up the earth, using our hands to begin to make sense of those commitments, make good on our promises, to build, create, grow what it is that would nurture that way of being, that gift, that acceptance. Today, we are in a region of the sky with the moon called Chitra, and the storyline around that is about the celestial architect. So it's interesting you bring that up, because the celestial architect is about taking our forms as raw material and chipping away to fashion our form and purify it, define it, bring it into a way of being that opens to the soul and lets our light shine. And Tvashtar, the celestial architect, is chipping away at the ego, chipping away at that control, chipping away and allowing the trust to grow so that we feel that connection with the universe and we're able to accept what's offered to us. So that's I love that story, because it helps what you just said, connect to the universe, the gifts that are offered to us, and help us be open to accept and trust that foggy path ahead of us that we can't see will be just okay. It'll be fine, maybe better than fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fabulous.
And it's about, harnessing in the moment
Mhm.
that all is well, all is provided for, this abundance of gratitude. It's harnessing all those energies in this now moment, because if I can harness this in the now moment, then my next now moment is, the same, is the same. And my next now moment is the same, but it's feeling that in the now so that we can feel it in the next now, right? Instead of like waiting for it to happen or waiting for it to come. It's, the power of the now we create in the now. We're going to get more of what we create in the now.
Yes. Yeah, it's difficult for us to pull ourselves, it's the mind, pull our mind back from the future and help the mind release those things from the past and just bring them into focus here and learn from the past
Right.
and still be aware that there is a future without a sense of radical control, I guess.
Right. It's like, letting go of the past and not looking too far into the future either, and getting too focused on that thing that you want that's way out there. I mean, both sides of that keep us from being present and powerful in that now moment. You were sharing about the moon energies, which you do daily and do a beautiful job with the moon energies, and I was thinking about how the polarity of the sun energies are doing the same thing in the way of the sun. You were talking about the moon energy is kind of chipping away and, more and more of that ego, getting us more and more to that soul essence, where I feel like the sun is doing the same thing as far as like burning
Yes.
burning, burning off the old uh, in our personal essence as well as the collective essence, like burning away the old and bringing in the new light.
Yes, and the sun nourishes. and burns away, like you said, ego and some of those external trappings, attachments that we have, so that we can identify ourselves with our innate sense of purity. And then the moon allows us to radiate and reflect that light out.
Yeah.
And so you're right, there is a harmony there
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You and I have talked about the energies, the solar energies, the earth energies, the moon energies, all of these kind of cosmic energies being in harmony, but they're also been, they can be really disruptive to the physical body. And we don't have to talk a lot about it, but I just kind of want to take an opportunity to plant a seed that if you're feeling really off, like in your physical form, whether it's bouts of being drained of energy, it could, be affecting like your digestion, like maybe you're like, wow, why am I so hungry today? Or why am I not hungry at all? For me, I tend to have periods of time where I feel like just completely like kind of off balance. And um, we were talking about how these energies too are shifting, like our physical form as well. And we're going to feel this movement. We're going to feel this soul movement, either the clearing out of the old or the bringing in of the new, and that tighter calibration with our inner self. We're going to feel that in the physical form. So I just sort of want to plant a seed that if anyone out there is feeling strange sensations in the physical form, it's likely part of the process. There is a lot of, it's very soothing and nurturing and calm, as well as being completely chaotic and disruptive.
Yes, the sun in Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology is considered to be a cruel planet. And we recognize that the life force, the ability to live on Earth is because of the sun. It has the capacity to do exactly what you said, burn away, be too vibrant, create the energy.
Expose too much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exposes the shadow. I mean, we talk about the shadows, but there is no shadow without the light streaming in on it to create that shadow.
Yes.
So it is a very violent and can be, destructive force for sure.
And we know that just from, science and medicine, that too much sun causes issues in the physical body. And anyone who's had a sunburn has gotten a little taste of that at different times in their life. So the sun can provide. And you and I have had some conversations about the solar flares that we've been experiencing since the beginning of May, late April, and the cyclic natures of those and what that has, what that's been as far as an influence on us. Some people are exhausted. Some people are overstimulated. Some people, like you said, lose their appetite, gain an appetite they've never had before, or have joint issues or muscular pain. So it's influencing us in many different ways as we begin to absorb that energy, which is really a spiritually uplifting energy. Our physical form, not all of us are able to digest that in the quantities that we're being exposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a break between them to kind of ground, regroup, restore before the next influx.
Yes. Yes.
They've been relentless.
Yes. And that assimilation time is so important for lots of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I see how they're pushing and influencing us to stay more in that now moment and to be just more discerning of our actions, our choices, like where we're putting our energy and kind of showing up in the world. Like for me, I've had to make, I don't want to say drastic decisions, but I've really had to step out of some ways, that I was participating in the world because I happen to be really hypersensitive to these flares and to the solar activity and the earth activity, literally to the point where there's environments that I literally cannot function in. My physical body cannot, be present, and I'm not having the time between, like I said, some of this activity to stabilize, I guess.
Yes, and really the duration, the earth time that we've been given in between some of these flares and
And
energetic impacts has really only been maybe 10 days, maybe 15 days. And so, from our perspective, that's not a lot of time if we compare the time that is a universal time that the sun operates in. Yeah.
and I do believe that we will individually kind of dance with those energies very differently depending on where we are in our awakening process.
Yes. Yeah, I
How
like
does
the term
unfold?
dance with.
Yeah,
It gives us the opportunity to be engaged and part of the process.
yeah. I'd like to read this quote that I shared in our Waking Facebook group the other day because I think it encompasses a lot of what we've been talking about this morning.
Mhm.
It says, chaos brings about a state of reorganization when utilized properly. Time is collapsing and the energy is becoming larger and larger. You have come here to use that energy first. You will make pathways of consciousness as you pull the energy into your body that will assist others so that they may not have to go through what you go through. Many people will suddenly begin to feel this energy without any preparation at all. You are pulling light, which is data and information, onto the planet. And as you do this, you create new pathways for consciousness to explore without even saying a word. The new pathways of consciousness create new realities, new options, and new ways of living and being.
That's interesting. You should say that. And um, the the quality of the energy and the acceptance of receiving that energy gets back to what we started with. And you also mentioned the action. And so that brought to mind to me, and I'll just paraphrase this, that I hear what you say and I watch what you do. And I guess that's an expanded version of walk the talk. And becoming aware and observing with discernment will help us, I think, digest some of the energies that are coming our way. It looks like we're just about out of time.
Oh,
And it went so fast again, as usual.
yeah.
It's been lovely, and I know that we'll be back again in about a month. So I hope, as you watch this or you joined us, that you'll be able to do that again. And namaste.
Namaste. And I wish for everyone to stay open and stay grounded, stay in that moment and the power of choosing what feels right for you and let it unfold.